What do you do when you're feeling off, when things are collapsing for you, where it doesn't seem to matter what you do, nothing's working out? Well, I have one sentence for you that will solve all of that.
Quantum souls.
Last time we talked about energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's a little bit about this topic again, because it's always there. That's what we're made of, energy, frequency, and vibration. So we all know that something is a higher power than us. We're put here on this earth in physical form, but there is a higher energy, and it doesn't matter what you call it God, call it the universe, call it Yahweh, whatever you want to say, there is a higher energy. So, as I alluded to in the intro, there is a sentence that I have now adopted that I am trying to make this work for me too. So I'm doing this as we speak, but I wanted to get this out to you. So that one sentence is, a higher energy is trying to do something. So a higher energy is trying to do something. So what would happen if, when things go bad and not working out the way you want to, and you're frustrated and you keep forcing it and then nothing seems to work out? What if you just sat back and said, well, I think a higher energy is trying to do something? Wouldn't that change your whole perspective on what you're trying to do? So, what if you could totally change your life? Instead of being angry and perturbed and disgusted with how things are happening in your life and what's happening in your life, or maybe even the way people are treating you, if you just said, a higher energy is trying to do something. So that even goes into the world of our effort and what we're trying to constantly do something. Do. We're taught to do that. Keep at it. Don't give up. But sometimes when things aren't working the way they used to, like for example, 10 years ago, you were on the cutting edge. Things were working for you then and 10 years ago. And now you're trying to do something the same way, but that's something new with the old version of what you were trying to do. It just doesn't work. It's like if you're in grade 1 and you're on the cutting edge, but you need to get up to grade 2. So you have to learn something to get to the next grade. And this is what that is like. A higher energy is trying to do something. So instead of trying to drive that square peg into the round hole, by saying a higher energy is trying to do something, that gives you license to sit back and relax for a moment and just ponder, is there another way? Maybe I need to ask some friends, ask some colleagues, ask your parents, ask a therapist if you need to help you move forward. But by saying I'm not going to keep driving this thing home, I'm just going to relax and say a higher energy is trying to do something. Now that brings up another point, and that is that when you decide to do this, you need to let that part of you that is keep trying to drive things home to die. Let that go. Let all those things go that you used to try to do this. And that will allow you to maybe even just have some forgiveness for something. or to let go of what people did to you, or what people said to you, or names they called you, or said you're crazy for just doing this and doing this and doing this. Just say a higher energy is trying to do something. So instead of acting negatively, you can act positively instead, and realize that this higher power, this higher source, energy source, is trying to help you. It's been trying to help you through your entire life. But many times when things happen to us that we feel and label as bad, they may not be bad. And I'm sure this has happened to you. Some poor things have happened to you in your life, but you have been able to conquer them, and it made you stronger. And sometimes there was a divine message in there from a higher energy that you listened to. But many times we don't listen to it. We close off. We close off because our mind is focused on doing it, doing it, doing it. But by saying a higher energy is trying to do something, you take a breath, you relax, and you say, okay, let me sleep on this and see what I think in the morning. And many times the answer comes while we're sleeping. And we wake up and go, yeah, why didn't I think of that before? So there's two things you have to do. Number one, you have to realize and prepare yourself that there is a higher source of energy, frequency, and vibration than yourself. And that things can come to you, can be downloaded to you out of the ether, because it's all energy, frequency, and vibration. And you're communicating with it all the time. And number two is that you won't really immediately know what's going to happen, right? It may take a little bit of time, but you have to stay open to it. And you don't know what it's going to look like. Just like when you start a new job sometimes, and although you may be qualified, you don't know what the workplace is like. What's going to happen? What are the coworkers like? What's my boss going to be like? And you're trying to get to another level, but you don't know what's happening at that level yet because you haven't been there. You're here, but you haven't been here. And that's always something new. So, stay open to an energy that's trying to do something. So, now it's time to have a little faith. Faith that there's a higher energy trying to help you. So is this the beginning of your life, or is it the end? It's the beginning. Because all you have to do is acknowledge that a higher energy is trying to do something. Now I want to credit Kyle Cease, who gave me this wonderful sentence that is changing my life as we speak. And that one sentence can change yours too. A higher energy is trying to do something. When things go wrong, things are falling apart, everything is not like it used to be, say to yourself, that's okay, because a higher energy is trying to do something, and it's going to change my circumstances. You just have to allow it, surrender to it, and let it in. Thank you so much for listening to today's message. I thank you so much for being here, and once again, we'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.